Hey everyone! Welcome to another episode of the Radium Girls. Everyone's heard of Silent Hill, right?
Mm-hmm.
I know. You know, the movies, the video game. Yeah, well, we're going to be talking about the real Silent Hill today. The town that's still burning underground to date.
So I must say, before we begin, Silent Hill was like one of my all-time favorite movies.
Really?
Have you seen it?
I actually saw it pretty recently, but I don't remember if I seen it like all the way back in the day when it came out.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not bad. That girl, she kind of fine. You know which one I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Which one?
The main girl?
No, the cop.
Oh. Okay. It's been a little while since I've seen it. I'm gonna have to rewatch it now that you've said that. Like, I'll have to go rewatch it. But yeah, I love that movie.
It's a pretty crazy movie. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the nurses and
like
the guy with the
the pyramid head.
Yeah,
that
just the
crazy.
concept of the movie is just brilliant.
You would not want to be there.
Yeah, no. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. It's if you have not seen it, I do highly recommend it. If you like horror movies, is it horror?
Yeah,
Sci-fi horror.
I don't
know. It's quite interesting, but it is completely different from what we're about to talk about. So every town has a story, a piece of history tied to it. Even a ghost town like Centralia, Pennsylvania. Centralia is found within the coal region of the Appalachian Mountains. Many of the Native American tribes in what is now Columbia County sold the land that makes up Centralia to colonial agents in 1749 for the sum of 500 euros. In 1770, during the construction of the Reading Road, which stretched from Reading to Fort Augusta, which is present-day Sunbury, settlers surveyed and explored the land. A large portion of the Reading Road was developed later as Route 61, the main highway east into and south out of Centralia. In 1793, Robert Morris, a hero of the Revolutionary War, who also signed the Declaration of Independence, acquired a third of Centralia's valley land. When he declared bankruptcy in 1798, the land was surrendered to the Bank of the U.S. A French sea captain named Stephen Girard purchased Morris's land for $30,000, including 68 tracts east of Morris's. He had learned that there was anthracite coal in the region.
The Centralia coal deposits were largely overlooked before the construction of the Mine Run Railroad in 1854. In 1832, Jonathan Faust opened a Bull's Head Tavern in what was called Roaring Creek Township. This gave the town its first name, Bull's Head. In 1842, Centralia's land was bought by the Locust Mountain Coal and Iron Company. Alexander Ray, a mining engineer, moved his family in and began planning a village, laying out streets and lots for development. Ray named the town Centerville, but in 1865 changed it to Centralia because the U.S. Post Office already had a Centerville in another county. The Mine Run Railroad was built in 1854 to transport coal out of the valley. The first two mines in Centralia were opened in 1856, the Locust Run Mine and the Coal Ridge Mine. Afterward came the Hazeldale Colliery Mine in 1860, the Centralia Mine in 1862, and the Continental Mine in 1863. The Continental was located on Stephen Girard's former estate. The Lehigh and Mahanoy Railroad was constructed to Centralia in 1865. It enabled transport and expansion of Centralia's coal sales to markets in eastern Pennsylvania.
What I found cool about this little tidbit here is this Alexander Ray laying out the streets and like lots for development. I've always found that kind of stuff fascinating. Like the people who can just, plan a whole city.
I always wondered how that worked. Because, it starts off small.
Mm-hmm.
And how do you build on that? Like, what? That's weird.
They have to, it's like a blueprint for a house.
Yeah.
I think it's fascinating. I think there's a lot of people out there that probably should not have had their hands on that.
Yeah. That's
especially
true.
where we live. And that's that one road that runs through the whole town. You know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Broadway. I'll say nothing else. But I just found it, I think that's pretty fascinating that, and this happened in 1842. So
yeah,
it's really cool. Centralia was incorporated as a borough in 1866. Its principal employer was the anthracite coal industry. Alexander Ray, of course the town's founder, was murdered in his buggy by members of the Molly Maguires on October 17th, 1868, between Centralia and Mount Carmel.
Waco? No.
Did you say Waco?
Yeah, because they were Mount Carmel. No, it's funny. It's supposed to be funny.
Waco?
Yeah.
I thought that was the Lake Hawkins guy.
Mm-mm.
What?
They were
Was it
on
Waco?
Mount Carmel.
Oh, man. How is this running together for me?
I'm telling you. This cute. They said his buggy. He was
Aw.
killing his little buggy.
Aww. Aww.
Oh,
That's sad. Because they had buggies back then.
I know.
3 men were eventually convicted of his death and were hanged in the county seat of Bloomsburg on March 25th, 1878.
It's my
That's
birthday.
Val's birthday.
How exciting.
Yeah, at least 3 men were hanged. Well, I mean, at least Alexander Ray, you know, that
Right. They murdered him in his buggy.
it might have taken him 10 years, but
Yeah.
he got justice. Several other murders and incidents of arson also took place during the violence, as Centralia was a hotbed of Molly Maguire's activity during the 1860s to organize a mine workers' union in order to improve wages and working conditions. A legend among locals in Centralia tells that Father Daniel Ignatius McDermott, the first Roman Catholic priest to call Centralia home, cursed the land in retaliation for being assaulted by 3 members of the Maguires in 1869. Sounds like a little trend is going on with these Molly Maguires people. You know, they attack in 3s.
Yeah.
Wow. McDermott said that there would be a day when St. Ignatius Roman Catholic Church would be the only structure remaining in Centralia. Many of the Molly Maguire's leaders were hanged in 1877, ending their crimes. Good. Legends say that the number of descendants of the Molly Maguires still lived in Centralia up until the 1980s. At least it was just, you know, their descendants and they didn't cause any other mayhem.
Yeah. Hmm.
At least that we know of.
Yeah. For real. The Wall Street crash of 1929 resulted in the Lehigh Valley Coal Company closing 5 of its Centralia local mines. Bootleg miners continued mining in several idle mines using techniques such as what was called pillar robbing. This is where miners would extract coal from coal pillars left in mines to support their roofs.
That doesn't sound very safe.
Does not. Supports the roof, okay?
Yeah.
This caused the collapse of many idle mines.
There you go.
Mm-hmm. Further complicating the prevention of the mine fire in 1962. Ooh. Efforts to seal off the abandoned mines ran into the collapsed areas. Coal mining continued in Centralia until the 1960s, when most of the companies shut down. Bootleg mining continued until 1982, and strip and open pit mining are still active in the area. An underground mine about 3 miles to the west employs about 40 people. Analysts disagree about the specific cause of the Centralia fire. David DeCock, author of Fire Underground, The Ongoing Tragedy of the Centralia Mine Fire, concluded that it started with an attempt to clean up the town landfill. In May 1962, the Centralia Borough Council hired 5 members of the volunteer fire company to clean up the town landfill, located in an abandoned strip mine pit next to the Oddfellows Cemetery just outside the borough's limit. This had been done prior to Memorial Day in previous years, where the landfill was in a different location.
On May 27th, 1962, the firefighters, as they had in the past, set the dump on fire and let it burn for some time. Unlike in previous years, however, the fire was not fully extinguished. An unsealed opening in the pit allowed the fire to enter the labyrinth of abandoned coal mines beneath Centralia. By contrast, other sources claim that the fire had started the previous day, when a trash hauler dumped hot ash or coal discarded from coal burners into the open trash bin. The author of The Day the Earth Caved In noted that Borough Council minutes from June 4th, 1962, my daddy's birthday, referred to 2 fires at the dump, and that 5 firefighters had submitted bills for fighting the fire at the landfill area. The borough, by law, was responsible for installing a fire-resistant clay barrier between each layer of the landfill, but fell behind schedule, leaving the barrier incomplete. This allowed the hot coals to penetrate the vein of coal underneath the pit and start the subterranean fire. In 1979, locals became aware of the scale of the problem when a gas station owner, then Mayor John Coddington, inserted a dipstick into one of his underground tanks to check the fuel level. When he withdrew it, it seemed hot. He lowered a thermometer into the tank on a string and was shocked to discover that the temperature of the gasoline in the tank was 172 degrees Fahrenheit.
Oh my God.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what I would do if I was the owner of the gas station and mayor of the town, and like I pulled up, my gas below my feet is 172 degrees. Like, what temperature does it have to be to explode?
Yeah. I'd be terrified.
No. Heck no.
Get
I
that
would run away
ass.
screaming.
Yeah.
Get out of here. Let's go. It's gonna blow.
Oh my God, yes. Statewide attention to the fire began to increase, reaching its climax in 1981 when a 12-year-old resident named Todd Domboski fell into a sinkhole 4 feet wide by 150 feet deep that suddenly opened beneath his feet in a backyard. Ooh, that's deep.
That is deep.
Dang. Ooh, I'm so afraid of sinkholes.
Yeah.
We need to do some stories on some sinkhole stories.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. Do some episodes on some
Sinkholes.
I agree. I think it'd be great.
Yeah, it's very scary. Some real life stuff.
Yes.
His cousin, 14-year-old Eric Wolfgang. Wow, that's cool.
We haven't even gotten to like what he did or nothing. You know, what happened with this 14-year-old cousin.
His last name is
You're
cool.
just cool. You're cool by nature.
His last name is Wolfgang. I didn't drink anything today.
Not at all.
He pulled Domboski out of the hole and saved his life. What? The hole was 150 foot deep. Ow!
It didn't say that he fell to the hole, like, all the way down. You know, he probably started falling and grabbed on. And
Okay.
I'm sure there's some roots down there he probably grabbed onto.
Maybe. Doesn't seem like the sinkholes I've known.
No sinkholes? Just from reading stories or real life?
Reading stories.
Oh my gosh. If you're enjoying today's story and our commentary, please give us a like and subscribe to our channels.
The plume of hot steam billowing from the hole was tested and found to contain a lethal level of carbon monoxide. Ooh, yeah, I bet it did.
Yeah. I have no words for you sometimes.
Something's wrong with me today.
Yeah, that's scary. I mean, if it's just,
letting out.
Just the steam that they're testing has a lethal level, and this kid was probably hanging there for a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
I'm sure he inhaled some carbon monoxide.
Yeah.
Wolfgang probably.
He saved him.
Yeah, but he probably inhaled this stuff too.
Yeah.
Mm.
They probably had to evacuate. Although there was visible evidence of the fire, residents of Centralia were bitterly divided over the question of whether or not the fire posed a direct threat to the town. It sounds like it does. Yeah. I'd be out of there. Yeah. In The Real Disaster is Above Ground, Steve Kroll-Smith and Steve Couch identified at least 6 community groups, each organized around varying interpretations of the amount and kind of risk posed by the fire. In 1983, the U.S. Congress allocated more than $42 million for the relocation efforts. Nearly all of the residents accepted the government's buyout offers. Yes, I would too.
I was about to ask you.
I
you
should.
Would. Yeah, I would too. A threat like that, I would too.
Yeah, that's too dangerous. Mm-hmm. Especially having like kids. He fell down a sinkhole. Yeah. You don't know when it's just sinkholes going to open up.
Mm-hmm.
By 1990, the census recorded 63 remaining residents. In 1992, Pennsylvania Governor Bob Casey invoked eminent domain on all property in the borough, condemning all of the buildings within. A subsequent legal effort by residents to overturn the action failed. In 2002, the U.S. Postal Service discontinued Centralia's zip code, 17927. Only 16 homes were still standing by 2006, which was reduced to 11 by 2009 when Governor Ed Rendell began the formal eviction of the remaining Centralia residents. Only 5 homes remained by 2010.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know why people wouldn't leave.
I know. I think it's also crazy that they demolish these structures.
Maybe so.
I guess it's not crazy, but
people would go squat in them or something.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even consider that. Squatters.
Yeah. That's what I would think, right?
I was just thinking maybe they just didn't want to deal with the sinkhole. Like, you know, take it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's probably a lot of reasons.
Probably so. The borough council still had regular meetings as of 2011. It was reported that the town's highest bill at the meeting came from PPL, a power utility, at $92, and the town's budget was in the black. So that's good. They were in the black. Not in the red.
$92?
Mm-hmm. For power.
Not bad.
Mm-hmm. Must be nice.
Right.
In February 2012, the Commonwealth Court ruled that a declaration of taking could not be reopened or set aside on the basis that the purpose for the condemnation no longer exists. 7 people, including the Borough Council president, had filed a suit claiming that condemnation was no longer needed because the underground fire had moved and the air quality in the borough was the same as that in Lancaster. In October 2013, the remaining residents settled their lawsuit, receiving $218,000 in compensation for the value of their homes, along with $131,500 to settle additional claims, and the right to stay in their homes for the rest of their lives. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it.
No. I would take the money and leave.
Yeah, I would definitely take the money and leave. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
In April of 2020, amidst the early part of the COVID-19 pandemic, the property's current owners made the decision to cover the graffiti highway section of Old Route 61. So we'll insert a picture of it. It's kind of eerie.
Yeah.
Seeing all that graffiti because the road's not traveled on.
Mm.
It's cool. Several mounds of dirt were laid over the area, thus ending a decades-long fascination with the desolate stretch of road. It's kind of sad, though.
Yeah.
I don't know that I would have covered that. The town's residents and former residents decided to open a time capsule buried in 1966, a few years earlier than planned after someone had attempted to unearth and steal the capsule in May of 2014. The capsule was not scheduled to be opened until 2016, which would have been 50 years later. Items found in the footlocker-sized capsule, which had been inundated with about 12 inches of water, included a miner's helmet, a miner's lamp, some coal, a Bible, local souvenirs, and a pair of bloomers signed by the men of Centralia in 1966.
Now that's funny.
That is kind of funny.
Clever.
It's crazy that it was like, it had, you know, a foot of water in it, though. Like,
yeah.
How could they tell that there was signatures on that?
Maybe it's just a blur or
unless
something.
Somebody remembered, oh, I signed that bloomers, you know?
Maybe it was like protected by something.
Oh, yeah, like...
I was going to say Ziploc bag, but I don't know if they had those.
Yeah. We're not good with history. We just research it. We didn't research that part. No. That's interesting, though.
That's cool.
Yeah.
But the minor stuff. Yeah, I wonder what that was. Local souvenirs. Yeah. A Bible. Mm-hmm. As of the census of 2010, there were 10 people, down 52% since 2000, 5 households, down 50%, and 3 families, down 57%, residing in the borough. The underground fire is still burning and may continue to do so for 250 years.
Crazy.
That's crazy. It's still on fire.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. I guess it's because that, you know, the mines were made of anthracite coal, which is the hottest burning fuel. So.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Ooh, that's crazy. Yeah, I would not live there. I mean, I wonder how far they have to travel to get their stuff.
Yeah.
We know Amazon don't go there. They don't even have a zip code.
No, they don't.
That's weird. How do you live there?
I think it was a town next over that they had to use their address for.
So Centralia has been used as a model for many different fictional ghost towns and manifestations of hell. Prominent examples include Dean Koontz's Strange Highways and David Wellington's Vampire Zero. And of course, the movie we like, Silent Hill.
Yes. It's definitely a huge, like, I definitely would see that being a depiction of hell.
Yeah.
I mean, you got the church, you know, you go to the church and you're okay in the church.
Yeah.
You gotta see the movie. It's
Fire burning underground.
Yeah.
Probably the scariest thing there is that and sinkholes.
Yeah. Yeah. That's so true. Yeah.
Well, that's about it for Silent Hill.
I hope you enjoyed today's story. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I enjoyed today's story.
Yeah.
So don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, turn on all notifications, leave a like on this video. If you're listening to our podcast on Spotify, Google, Apple, or Podcast Addicts, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss when we upload. If you'd like to submit a question for us to answer or a topic you'd like us to cover, head to our Facebook and send us a message. We'd love to hear your ideas. We need more, please. So today we have a question from one of our listeners. He wants to know, is the oldest picture of you the youngest picture of you, or is the youngest picture of you the oldest picture of you?
Is the youngest picture of you the oldest picture of you?
Mm-hmm.
Or is the
youngest picture of you the oldest picture of you?
I'm so confused. Hold on. Let me process this for a second. Is the oldest picture of you the youngest picture of you? Oldest. Or is the youngest picture of you the oldest picture of you? It's both.
It's both.
Yeah,
I mean, I would say both. Because it is a picture of the young you, and the picture is also old. So,
yeah.
Both.
Yeah.
Right? Do y'all agree?
Yeah, what do you think? That was a tricky question.
To wrap your head around, yeah.
Yes. Like, to comprehend just like...
Yeah. You have to I have to see it.
It's the youngest picture of you because it's the youngest you were ever in your life, but it's the oldest picture because it's the first picture of you.
Ever. Back in the million years.
Yeah.
Your birth picture.
It's quite interesting.
Did you have birth pictures?
Like newborn pics?
Like, yeah, newborn pics, not birth.
Probably not.
You have little newborn pics? Oh.
I don't think so. Well, I take that back. Not like they are today.
Yeah.
Not like the whole
no,
shebang.
Like, you're like probably still at the hospital.
I'm gonna have to ask my mom because I know she has a picture of me. I might have been. There might have been a bracelet on my wrist or ankle.
Yeah, I got one of those with the bracelets.
Yeah. And it's like me. You can't tell them at the hospital. It's like they posed me on a blanket or whatever and took a picture. My arms are like this.
Yeah, eyes closed.
Yeah. I think
in a diaper.
Do. Yeah. Well, she had me like in a little outfit.
Yeah, I don't know if I was in an outfit or not. Just assuming I was in a diaper.
I'm pretty sure. I just don't know if there were any others that were taken that time. Like, you know,
the first one.
Yeah, that's the first picture.
The oldest one.
That's interesting. Mama, let me know. I know you're listening. Do you still have my first ever? I'm sure you still have it. I 100% know you still have it.
Yeah.
Send it to me when you watch this episode. Text it to me. I want to see it.
For real.
All
right. Well, that is today's episode.
So yeah, thank y'all for listening. We hope you enjoyed it. And like Val said, make sure to head over to YouTube, subscribe to our podcast, all the good stuff that we say every time. And we really hope you have a wonderful Tuesday. If you're listening to this on another day that is not Tuesday, well, you are behind and you should have listened to it on that Tuesday we released. But we really appreciate your support.
Yeah.
As always,
stay curious.